Hey everyone, I'm Ben Lee, and I am very excited to have a chance to interview someone I've become very interested in, a really beautiful musician called Daniel Dye, who I met on the Steemit platform and really just fell in love with his music. And I really know very little about him, so I'm excited to, we connected by email, but I'm excited to have this chat. And particularly because I've been getting a lot of questions from musicians and other artists about what's the most effective way of using Steemit and how does music and cryptocurrencies and the blockchain and all of that work. I thought it'd be great to hear it from someone who's in a pretty unique situation and really making it work for them. So thanks, man. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Cool. And so why don't we just start, just you want to share a little bit about your musical history and where you're at in your career and all that sort of stuff. Fill me in too.
Yeah, so I'm almost 40, and I've been writing songs for about 15 years. So I think that I played for fun, in college and stuff. But then after college, I went to Berlin. I moved to Berlin, and I studied in Europe, and that's when I started taking songwriting and music more seriously, and started writing tons of songs. Eventually, I came back to the USA, came back to Ohio. I had some commitments and began to play music with my classically trained nephews and nieces. And so it just started off at a farmer's market, almost like a weekly practice, and it kind of grew from there.
So what year was that?
That was in 2009, I think, 2009, yeah. So, and then we released our first album in 2010, and I've been playing ever since. So yeah.
Cool. And were you signed to labels or have you been indie the whole time, or how's it?
Indie the whole time, yeah. And then mostly in Ohio, and then when my vacations turned into a tour. So when I would go to Europe, I would do a little mini tour, or I have family up in the Northeast in the Boston area. So again, do a tour. So it's kind of growing little by little.
Cool. And how have you found, like in general, I mean, starting a music career in 2009, it's like almost like your grandparents would tell you wrong industry to get into. How have you found sort of like, because you've got a family too, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. How have you found that? What's just the practicalities of being an indie musician in this day and age?
Well, it's tough, right? I mean, this day and age, you have to make music in a live show. It seems like it's hard to sell music. I still work a day job, and as music has been a part-time thing. Until this year when I lost most of my income and I started switching, and now it's mostly music. So yeah, it all switched in the beginning of 2018. So,
wow. Okay. And so give me a little history of how you came to Steemit. Did you have experience with cryptocurrency? Like what was your level of understanding coming into it?
Nothing. I didn't know anything about it. So I actually learned about this from someone who, actually Canadian, that married a niece of mine. He started talking to me about Steemit.
And these nieces and nephews have played a pivotal role in your life.
Yeah, I have over 20 of them. There's lots of them.
Wow. How many brothers and sisters?
I'm the youngest of 6.
Okay, cool.
My brother. Yeah. So he for about a year, I think over a year, he said, "Hey, you got to get into Steemit." He was talking to me about it. And for me, I think I have, 14 or 15 different outlets for music, all these things I'm trying to keep track of. So just one more thing. And I thought, oh, not another thing. And I just put it off and put it off and put it off. And then, I don't know, in December, something sort of clicked. I thought, I'm just going to jump into this without knowing anything about how cryptocurrency was taking off as well. I just thought, I need to do this. And at the end of December, we jumped into it. And here I am. It's been a blast. It's actually been, I kind of was joking around with some of my friends, like, hey, there's nothing else now. It's just Steemit. The rest of them seem like a joke now. So that's kind of how I feel about it. It's pretty exciting. So,
well, to give people an idea, like, firstly, people should just check out your music anyway, which I loved. I mean, there's a bunch of musicians who are kind of like sharing this stuff, but I just resonated with the aesthetic of it. It's like my kind of music, like folk-based acoustic instruments, but heartfelt and bittersweet and just gorgeous. But your posts seem, just from the way I've been watching them, seem to generate seems like at least $150 a post. You put up a song each day, it seems like.
Just about, yeah.
Some a little more, some a little less. But I mean, that's a proper income for a musician who's not living, not living private jets or whatever. But I was just impressed at like the sustainability of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, if you think about it, from me at my level, a good gig could be $300 or $400, $400 or $500 for a good gig. So to think about, you put up a post, and for me, the discipline, it was wonderful because I actually, for the first time, wrote a story behind each song with that.
Yeah, I love that. I was inspired by that. I'm trying to do a bit of that too.
Yeah. So, all these songs, they come from somewhere, right? And so, but I've never done that. And it's actually helped me even in my live shows, because now when I talk about the song, I actually have some of these words these lines that I've used from Steemit, from this blog, that I actually will start with. And it's really even helped dramatically with the live show as well. So yeah, it's become kind of a job. I post every day. It takes a couple of hours to think about finding the right pictures and developing the story and think about.
And for the moment, it's mostly material you've already got. Like you've got a backlog. Or
yeah. Although I probably have done 3 or 4 brand new songs that haven't been released. So because I have so much more time now, I'm playing music all the time. And then for me, if I pick up the guitar, I start writing songs. So I think I had about 6 or 7 new songs come last week, or in about a 2-week span, and 3 or 4 of those ended up on Steemit. So yeah. Cool. So it's kind of a mix. Some of the stuff I've done before, which I had, and then other songs, it's an exciting new recording of it. So yeah.
Amazing. And I mean, one of the things that I'm kind of blown away by is, when we think about being artists posting our stuff to social media, it's like, say you do it on YouTube, it's normally, it's like your fans, and then there's like smart asses just making like negative comments. And, it's such a the internet is such a hotbed of like negativity too. And for artists who are sort of sensitive, usually it can be kind of difficult. But one of the cool things I've liked about the Steemit platform is that, you basically can get downvoted for negativity and for being, rude. So if people don't like something, they ignore it, but it's generally a very just positive atmosphere to share work in.
Yeah. That's a big surprise, right? So, there's this. It's funny, some of the comments you get, because sometimes you don't, because it's such a global world. You don't know quite exactly what someone's saying, but it is, I'd say 99% positive. And then, it's funny. I was on YouTube today and just comparing the two, and I couldn't believe it. Looking through some of different artists that I know. So it's really encouraging in that way. And it's hard, right? As a musician, you're vulnerable when you put your stuff out there. It's a piece of your heart, and it's good. It's good to have some tough skin, because you don't know what's going to happen, but it is encouraging that way as well. So
yeah, and it's funny how because it's sort of a new, however many people there are, 700,000 people on it or something. Mm-hmm. Everyone is it's all different types of people. You have no idea. It's not like you're catering to like a certain taste in music or a genre. It's like we're all just there sharing music. Like if we have a thing called open mic, and it's like, they'll just be like a jazz saxophone player and then a 12-year-old girl in her bedroom in the Philippines, and then you or me. And it's a very level playing field too, which is
and it's beautiful. Like, as someone, I love traveling and visiting different countries, and so it's a little taste of that every day, right? You go in there and you see something from the Philippines. In fact, I've actually seen, I'm from the US, of course, but I've seen very few Americans in comparison. So it's just kind of it's this big, beautiful world out there. But I didn't realize that. You say there's 700,000 on Steemit?
I heard something like that, like 600 or 700, but that's accounts, and that doesn't mean active daily users. Okay. So obviously, I mean, I think each week seems to be having a bigger new application rate than the week before it. So it's, it's growing. So what would you say, if there are musicians who want to get on the platform, what would be like a few tips you have for how to share effectively and how to create an income through it?
Yeah, so I think that one thing, first of all, I think using platforms like D-Sound for your audio recordings, or D-Tube, seems to be helpful.
I can't get anything on D-Tube. Anytime I try and post to it, it's like error in the blockchain. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. I've only tried once and it worked out well, but I know that they recommend, even like, I think you've done this, put it on DTube and then YouTube as well, just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
I had one that went through, but I haven't tried it
And
since.
we are in the Wild West, people, so things sometimes are like we're finding our feet too. Yeah. But yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I think that's been recommended to me, and that was helpful. I had a post up just on, for example, just through I think my Bandcamp page or something, and it didn't really go too far. And then I put it on DSound, and that helped. Also, I think, of course, like that, finding the right picture, for example, something connected is important. Something connected to your song, and then the lyrics seem to help because it is so global. People really respond to the lyrics because they can read them as they listen, and also just the story, the story behind the song, and then some kind of maybe attention-grabbing introduction as well. Seems to go a long way. I know when I go into DSound, I look through all the music, I kind of look for that line that really captures me.
Right. I know it's funny. It's almost like we have to learn the lessons, like the bad lessons of clickbait, and turn them into good qualities, which is basically like, how do we draw people into a song that is really meaningful to us with the right sentence and the right picture, so that, because it's getting people onto that click for it to be meaningful. But I love how, you do have to open yourself up, and especially to try something new. It's like, there's no room to be the like too cool musician who is like afraid to like, just look silly trying stuff, because you got to try stuff and see what works, right?
Yeah. And that's actually one thing that I've been inspired about. Like, I'm really looking forward to moving forward and trying some different little side projects that maybe it's a song that I wrote is kind of abstract or maybe weird for me. Hey, this is the place to do it, and I'm looking forward to that, because like you said, it's so big, and there's so many different types of music, and like, I don't know, I just think it's kind of the place to do it. And because it is such a positive atmosphere, kind of like a safe space for that, so to speak. And what's been cool about it is that I've been posting on Facebook and Twitter, and other people that I know that follow me, fans of mine, for the first time they've seen it, they're excited because they are attention to my songs in a different way as well. So little by little, it's kind of, people are becoming curious, and other people are joining as well. I have one friend who's really into cryptocurrencies, and this is the place for him. He doesn't want to invest his own money. But I said, hey, well, just invest your time. And
exactly. Just get equity. Yeah. Yep. Cool, man. Well, I'm really excited to just share this with people and get, more people moving over to the platform and have more of this musical dialogue and creative dialogue going. So thanks for taking the time.
Yes.
Oh, and if people are going to Steemit, say your tag so they know how to find you.
Okay.
Yeah. Daniel Dye. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.